Long ago, folk all over the world knew of the Will o' the Wisp. Pale, ghostly lights and flickering flames that danced above the marsh, drifting just far enough ahead to draw you off the path. For centuries, folk all over the world knew not to follow them. And yet, follow them they did. When their lanterns failed, when the moon hid her face behind thick clouds, when they were lost and alone in the darkness, they saw a light, and they followed. They'd heard the stories, knew the light would only lead them further into the bog. They knew it would betray them. They knew it was a trap. They followed anyway. Today, the marshes may be gone, but what if I told you that their lights still linger, in a new hunting ground that you would never expect, waiting to lure us ever deeper into the mire? For though the marshes themselves may be long gone, our impulse to chase the light in the darkness is not. What can we learn from this old myth? And will we ever be able to resist reaching for the fool's flame? Hi everyone, and welcome back to Beasts of the Old World, a channel that explores ancient folklore and mythical creatures from across the globe. I'm Nick, and today we're uncovering the forgotten truth behind one of the most chilling and persistent myths in the world, the infamous Will o' the Wisp. Please like the video if you enjoy it, and let me know what you liked about it in the comments, or which mythical creatures you want to see next. With that said, let's get into it. The marshlight phenomenon is one of the most widespread in the world. Seen across the globe in Europe, Asia and the Americas, these lights have haunted our imaginations for centuries. At one point they were so widespread and numerous in England alone that they became known by many names: will-o'-the-wisps, jack-o'-lanterns, hinky-punks, corpse candles, elf fires, ignis fatuus, peg-o'-lanterns, kitty candlesticks and friar rushlights, and that's just a few. But as you can see, this phenomenon is one that's reached every corner of the planet, stretching across oceans and across continents, and ignoring cultural boundaries too.
There was once in every hollow 100 wry-mouthed wisps.
This might be the oldest written reference to the phenomenon, certainly the oldest I'm aware of, and proves that these strange lights were certainly known in Britain from as early as the 14th century. And from how it references the word wisp without further elaboration, it might be reasonably assumed that they were known long before that too. In fact, their reputation was once so widespread that they appear in literature, theology, and science. John Milton in Paradise Lost calls them
a wandering fire, compact of unctuous vapour, which the night condenses, and the cold environs round, kindled through agitation to a flame, which oft, they say, some evil spirit attends, hovering and blazing with delusive light, misleading the amazed night wanderer from his way to bogs and mires, and oft through pond or pool, and there swallowed up and lost.
Shakespeare mentions them in his history Henry IV, and even Sir Isaac Newton speculated on them in his 1704 work Optics. But what were these strange things? And what did they mean to the people of the past? They appeared as small, pale flames or lights hovering just above the marshy ground, glimmering gently in the distance, a tiny beacon of hope in the shifting dark, luring wanderers deeper and deeper into the mire. And once you strayed too far from the path, they vanished, leaving you lost, stranded, and utterly alone. Some believed that they would lead you to fairy treasure if you survived the journey. Some say that they were malevolent spirits of the dead, hell-bent on bringing the living to ruin, which is of course why so many have personal names: Will of the Wisp, Kitty Candlestick, Jenny Burnt-Tail, and of course Peg and Jack-o'-lantern being the most famous. But despite all the regional differences, nearly everybody agreed on one thing. The Fool's Flame was dangerous, and to follow on was to take a great risk. No matter where they appeared, across culture and continents, the warnings were always the same. Don't stray from the path. Don't follow the lights.
Don't follow the lights.
But what were people really seeing? Were these really the work of mischievous elves or the spirits of the vengeful dead? Or was it a natural phenomenon that haunted the marshlands of every corner of the world? And why did it always seem to vanish just when you needed it the most? For centuries, scientists and scholars have puzzled over these questions, coming up with their own explanations, ranging from ball lightning to fireflies or simply just tricks of the eye. Nothing has ever been proved conclusively, but in the 19th century, a Prussian engineer named Major Louis Blesson developed what's generally held as science's best guess. In 1832, he travelled to a valley in the forest of Gorbitz where locals swore that such lights flickered over the nearby marsh at night. Investigating the marsh, Blesson observed that during the day, bubbles rose continuously from certain areas of the mire, and so he marked those spots and returned after nightfall. What he saw astounded him. In his report, he wrote, "To my great joy, I actually observed bluish-purple flames and did not hesitate to approach them." But every time he drew near, the flames retreated. He theorised that it was his motion or the shifting air that drove them away. Still, he persisted. His report claimed that when he stayed perfectly still, he found that the lights would slowly return to their original positions. In some cases, he was even able to singe paper in their glow, while in others, the flames either vanished or coated the paper with a viscous moisture. His findings led him to a theory still largely accepted today, that marshlights are caused by gases released from decomposition in the bog. As organic material breaks down beneath the surface, it releases methane and phosphine, gases that, under the right conditions, can spontaneously ignite. But knowing what makes the wisp appear doesn't make it any less haunting, because today, sightings of marshlights have all but vanished. What was once a global phenomenon is now, more or less, forgotten. So, what happened? Perhaps the explanation is quite simple. The lights disappeared because the marshes did too. Over the past few centuries, the great wetlands of the world have largely been drained, filled in, or built upon. In Britain, much of what were once vast fenlands have long since been turned into farmland. What was once bog and mire is now field and suburb. So maybe it's as simple as that. With the marshes gone, the lights had nowhere left to dance. But did they disappear altogether, or did they find somewhere new to haunt? Because, let's face it, we all still follow the foolish flame today, in one way or another. How many times have you endlessly scrolled your feed hoping to find the next flicker of something meaningful? How many people fall prey to online conspiracies and internet rabbit holes, their curiosity getting them lost in misinformation, leaving them alienated from reality? Think of all those shiny, bright casino apps and free-to-play mobile games, always dangling the promise of a payoff just out of reach. All those dating apps where the illusion of connection flickers on the screen promising love or companionship, and yet, for many, the experience becomes a hollow cycle of swipes, the meaningful moment always one match away. Then there's those awful modern wellness industries that offer vague promises of healing or purpose or self-actualization, conveniently requiring further purchases for it to work for you. Not to mention the endless get-rich-quick schemes and hustle culture selling you the fantasy of financial freedom and luring you instead into scams and burnout. Think of all the clickbait everywhere you go. Just one more reel, one more short, just one more purchase, and then maybe you'll be satisfied. But you aren't. You're led further and further from the path and into the mire where all your life sinks away around you. What you're looking for is always just out of reach. But it doesn't stop you chasing it. If anything, it makes you chase it all the more desperately. In a sense then, the Marshlights never vanished. They simply adapted to a new environment, drifting out of the shrinking bog and into the hypnotising glow of our screens, into the feeds that we can't stop scrolling, and the promises we can't stop chasing. We like to think we're smarter now, that we wouldn't fall for the same old tricks. But perhaps the old stories still know us better than we know ourselves. Because the warning of the will-o'-the-wisp was never just about the marsh. It was about us, about our nature, about the dangerous hope that something out there, some little glow in the distance, might finally give us what we're looking for. But it never does. And by the time we realise we're lost, the light in the distance is gone. And by then it could be too late to reach for the one inside yourself. Thank you for watching this video. This channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon, so if you're enjoying the content and want to show your support, then for as little as the price of a cup of coffee, you can get access to exclusive old tales and deep dives that you can't watch anywhere else, plus a Discord group and early access to ad-free versions of the videos you find over here on YouTube. If that sounds interesting, then click the link in the description or the button on screen now to find out more and help us keep the old world alive. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.